And the question, why is the notion of race biologically obsolete yet culturally viable? This is asking, why is race basically ob- obsolete? And that is because our genetic code is very similar to each person's. Though they may look a different shade from yourself, or they might have a different hair color or eye color, or any of those physical characteristics, those are very minimal compared to the factors that they may be diverse compared to you culturally. Because DNA wise, humans have more similarity than two penguins, and two penguins practically look the same like they're twins. Yet, people from two different backgrounds may have conflict with each other just on the basis of how they look. Yet, they have more similarity in their genetic code than penguins. And even fruit flies. Fruit flies have an even larger amount of differences between each other, though they look extremely the same and they're about this big. We're a lot bigger and look a lot different, but our genetic code is similar, so this is why it's biologically obsolete. It is culturally viable because each person adapts to their environment differently. They may speak a different language or have different rituals. They may have different traditions. They definitely have different food, which is yummy, and all these different things that influence the individual personally, especially their identity that's formed from the society that they're in. In nature versus nurture, nature is basically your genes, um, and that'll play a role throughout your life. Say you're born with autism, that is going to be sticking with you throughout life, and that's with you. But depending on how you're nurtured, depending on how you're cared for, you may start out at the spectrum where you have a developmental disability over at this side. But if you're nurtured in a really great environment, then you may be brought up to the spectrum over here. Whereas you'll never reach this end, you'll still be able to succeed in in your life because of that nurturing environment, because of that culture that you're in. Yet, it's all about the interaction of genes and environment. Also, with biology versus sociology, those two things are extremely diverse. Biology, once again, is sticking with you, whereas sociology is the culture you're in, the influence they've had on you, whether it's bad or negative. It has a huge toll on your character development, which is mainly played out after you have that set of biology genes. In the example that I gave about how I'm half Thai and how I'm half Filipino, no, I did not come from the Thailand or Filipino. I was actually born in California after my parents migrated from Belgium, which is where they met. Interesting story. Anyways, so I don't speak any Thai or any Tagalog, which is a kind of a disappointment. But I feel like though I look that nationality, I don't fully represent it because um, I've definitely adapted to the culture here in America, which is just a potluck of everything else. Um, it's definitely being exposed to diverse food, um, Christianity, um, certain rituals, or just other cultural factors that are around here, um, that has been just taken and picked from each culture around here and how it's been influenced, and that is what makes like my culture. So that plays like a much larger role than just my nationality because I didn't come from Thailand, nor do I speak or really fully represent that country, because I am not really from there. Like I can't relate to their culture as much as I can here. So that is where race kind of is obsolete and culture, it definitely plays a much larger role in just my everyday life and just in society in general.